What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Belle Collective Season 2 Reunion Part 1. So, during the pre show part where Carlos is going from dressing room, talking to all the women, he goes to see Letitia and he makes a comment. This is the very first season that Glenn has not been in Letitia's dressing room. Well, this is only season 2, so let's not be over dramatic. And then they talk about, I think it was Glenn or Carlos Keene told Glenn, or I don't know if Glenn said this himself, but it was said that depending on the results of the DNA test of this possible love child of Glenn's, depending on what the DNA results are, it's going to determine which direction his life will take. And what I have to say to that, it should not determine what direction your life will take. I think that there should only be one direction for Glenn's life, and that's to divorce court. Because what he has put Letitia through, I don't think that Letitia should give him a second chance, whether the results are negative or positive. I think Letitia needs to move on. She deserves somebody a whole lot better than old Glenn. So I don't think that the DNA results should have any bearing on what they need to do. I don't want to see a marriage break up, but Glenn evidently didn't care if his marriage broke up or not. So I really do believe that they need to just go their separate ways and do the best that they can to raise their child. So the show finally begins. As far as the looks, Marie, I thought, looked absolutely pretty. I loved her hair. I'm glad that she didn't come with the platinum blonde. I thought her hair was really, really cute. I loved her outfit. I thought Marie hit it out of the park. As far as Akeisha, I liked her dress. I liked her dress a lot. Her hair was okay. I loved Latrice's hair. That hair was laid. I loved, loved, loved Latrice's hair. Her dress was cute. I love Letitia's hair as well, but I didn't care for Letitia's dress. I didn't think that it fit her properly, and I really didn't care for the color. So Gucci was fine, and I loved Tambra's dress. I thought her dress was really, really nice. So Gucci says that Tambra had a fake butt, and I never thought about that. Of Tambra. I think her body is very well proportioned. She's a very small, petite woman, and nothing about her body to me made me think, oh, that's got to be fake. So I didn't see that. Tambra denied having a fake butt or having any kind of butt injections or anything like that. But so I thought it was kind of crazy that So Gucci thought that. They talk about how the ratings increased. I think Akeisha took credit for that. But the first season was a really good season. The ratings increased, I think, this season because the first season was good and we were all ready to come back for season 2. And of course, I think the Letitia and Glenn story really helped the ratings. And I think maybe the feud between Akeisha and Letitia maybe helped the ratings. And of course, I mean, look, I don't think it was one specific thing. I think the show is actually a good show. And the ratings were good because everybody was willing to come back. You know, the audience, we wanted to come back and see season 2. And maybe, a friend told a friend told a friend, and that brought more people to season 2. Tambra, so they talk about how Tambra was the one that was trying to block Akeisha from coming on the show. So the women are involved in some type of a group chat on Facebook, and Tambra had mentioned in the group chat, I believe, that she did not want Akeisha on the show. Tambra denied ever saying that. The rest of the ladies were basically like in agreement that, yeah, Tambra did show some type of a resistance to Akeisha coming on the show, which confused me because I thought Akeisha came on the show as a friend of Tambra. And yes, during the season, you could tell that there was some type of tension between Tambra and Akeisha, but I really thought that Akeisha was introduced to us as a friend of Tambra. But I don't know, maybe all of that was fake. And I wonder if maybe Tambra just felt like, she didn't want to have to compete with another light-skinned woman on the show. She wanted to be the only light-skinned woman on the show. I don't know. I'm just saying because Akeisha, she is a hard pill to swallow. She's very rough around the edges. So maybe, she was just didn't like her because just didn't like her. But everybody else, like, I'm not saying that they liked Akeisha, but it seemed like nobody else really had a problem with her being on the show. So the only thing that I could think of was maybe Tambra just wanted to be, the resident light skinned chick on Belle Collective. Tambra said that Akeisha did not consider the Bells attractive. I don't know why this is a big deal, why this has to be such a huge topic of discussion, but let's talk about it. So, according to Tambra, Akeisha had made mention that the women on the show were not very attractive. Like, she says something to the effect of, so there's not going to be any more attractive people, or one of the attractive people going to show up, or something like that. And, Akeisha acted like she didn't remember saying that. She knows whether she said it or not. But she claimed that, oh, I don't remember saying that. I don't remember if I ever said that. Maybe I did, but I don't remember. But then she did admit that she didn't think they were attractive on a particular photo that she had seen of the women. I'm thinking it was some type of a promotional photo. So when she saw that picture, she didn't think that they were very attractive. But then when she saw them in person, she thought they were all beautiful. Whatever, Akeisha. Akeisha seems like somebody who would say something problematic like that, where she would down other African American women based on their looks. She seems like someone who would say something like that. I hate to admit it, but I do believe that she said that, and I don't think she said it that diplomatically or that politically correct. I think she said it, really mean, and, yeah, she said it. She said it, and it's really sad because, she's a grown woman. This is 2022. Why are women saying, such crass things about other women, especially women that they don't even know yet? And I've never seen these women look unattractive at all. On their worst days, I don't think that they would have anything to worry about compared to Akeisha. Akeisha versus Letitia. So we have to talk about Plategate again. Akeisha responds, okay, so Letitia is convinced. She has convinced herself that Akeisha came to her brunch just to dog out her brunch. That she came there with a lot of negative energy, and that she wasn't going to like anything, and that she wasn't going to say anything positive about the brunch. She just came in guns blazing, waiting just to shred that entire brunch apart. That's how Letitia sees it. Akeisha sees it differently. Akeisha said that she came there with an open mind. She did make a note, or she did make a comment about how it was a very small brunch. She thought it was going to be bigger with more people. And then she said that when she sat down, she saw that the plate was dirty. She initially had told a producer, but the producer was like, hey, just act like I'm not here because you can't break that fourth wall. So then she made mention of it to Letitia. And according to Akeisha, Letitia's response to the dirty plate was very defensive. Even Carlos King was like, yeah, you were a little bit defensive when she brought it to your attention that her plate was dirty. Because Letitia was like, so what do you want me to do about it? I didn't put it there. So yeah, Letitia's response was very defensive. I can see how that could have put Akeisha off. If Akeisha wasn't off to begin with, Letitia's response to the dirty plate could have put Akeisha off. Letitia should have just said, okay, don't worry, girl, I'm going to get you another plate. No big deal. And then go on and have someone bring her another plate. No big deal. But for her to be like, oh, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, Letitia took that comment about the dirty plate like Akeisha was just, just like tearing a whole entire brunch apart. So I think Letitia took it completely out of proportion. And then Akeisha was like, well, if you're going to come to me like that, I'm going to come right back at you. The whole thing was absolutely stupid to even have an argument about. You can go to the finest restaurants and there's a chance that you might get a plate that might not be, absolutely clean. It might have a little something, something on it. And all you got to do is just ask for another damn plate. And then we can all move on with our lives. Carlos King. Okay. So then they argue back and forth. You can't even hear what anybody's saying because they're talking all over each other. And then they talk about how Letitia used the word hose, because when she was in the bathroom at her brunch talking to Marie, because Marie was ready to go because Latrice was there. So Marie wanted to leave and she goes into the bathroom and Letitia was trying to convince Marie to stay. And she says something like, don't let those hoes affect you. Everybody heard because they were talking very, very loud. And so Gucci says at the reunion, so Gucci was like, yeah, I wish you would have used another word instead of hose. And Akeisha says, well, I used the word hose, but yeah, she could have used another word. It wasn't that crucial. I mean, she didn't really mean that these women were hoes. She was just trying to like let her friend know, don't let nobody run you out. Okay, don't let nobody run you out. And she probably wanted to say the B word, but probably thought that it was too aggressive. And so she thought she was scaling it down by saying the word hose instead. But should she have watched her language? Yeah, you're a professional woman, you're a business owner. Maybe people expect you to act a certain way, have a certain type of decorum about you, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Let's move on. Latrice versus Marie. So Latrice asked Marie if she had a nose job, and I don't think Marie completely denied it. I couldn't tell. I have to see it before and after. So they go back and forth about why they have beef, and it goes all the way back to the damn wig. Marie believes that the wig that she bought from Latrice was a bait and switch. She saw the wig that she liked wherever she was at. She liked this particular wig. She ordered that particular wig. And Marie thinks that Latrice, her company, had delivered her a much cheaper type of wig, a cheaper quality wig. So that's where it all started. Okay, fine, whatever. So Marie says that if it wasn't for this whole wig storyline, Latrice would not have a storyline, period. So then they argue, they go back and forth, and Latrice gives Carlos a document that shows that Marie was under investigation by the government. Marie denies ever being under investigation, and she even said, "Do you think I'd be sitting here if I had done something wrong and the government was after me for fraud?" Letitia feels like she's stuck in the middle. So she starts crying, talking about these are her two friends and she wants them to all get along. Latrice starts crying. I don't know if Marie was crying or not, but Letitia was like, hey, these are great women. They're so much alike as far as them being very, very motivated, business oriented, successful business women. They're so much alike in that way. And maybe that's why they keep butting heads. But Letitia was like, I just want them all to just get along because I love them both and I love them dearly. I think that the real issue between Letitia and Marie, it could be competitiveness and it could be just some good old jealousy. So just some good old jealousy. I don't know as far as what. Maybe Marie's jealous that Latrice still has a man that supports her. And who knows what the hell happened to Marie's man. Maybe it's the competitiveness of their businesses. They want to one up each other. They want to be the most successful or more successful than the other. But I think it's just rivalry, petty jealousy. I think that's the real root of it all. I don't think it has anything to do with a wig. So Letitia says that somebody asked Letitia, do you believe that Latrice was really trying to take Marie down? And Letitia says, no, I do not believe that Latrice was trying to take Marie down. But does Letitia not remember the text message that Essie showed Latrice or told Latrice about, where Latrice was talking to someone and wanting she wanted Letitia and Marie to go down, but they asked her, which one do you want to go down more, or something like that? And she went ahead and said, okay, then take down Marie. Does Letitia not remember that scene? Because that was clear evidence that Latrice wanted to take Marie down. And she wanted to take Letitia down too, but she settled on taking Marie down. Clearly, she wanted her to go down. And she even admitted to that. She admitted that she actually sent that text or wrote that text to whoever. So, Letitia, I know you've been going through your own stuff with your husband. Maybe you missed that part of the show. But Letitia, the evidence was clear that Latrice was trying to take Marie down or wanted Marie to go down. And I totally believe that Latrice had someone report Marie for Medicaid fraud. Carlos King wanted them to pledge to not ever talk about their businesses and to just, get along better and not bring up all this petty stuff anymore. Marie was in, but Latrice refused to take that pledge, so she didn't even take that promise. So then all the men come out. They ask Marie where was Cedric. Marie said that she hadn't talked to Cedric since her rebirth event. When he gave his speech, talked about the medicine that Marie was taking that made her lupus better, whatever medicine that he suggested her to take or whatever medicine he gave her, gave his little speech. He walked out that door. He kept on walking. He walked so far that Marie has no idea what the hell happened to him because she hasn't seen him since. Glenn and Letitia. So then Glenn says this was the first and only time that he ever physically cheated on Letitia. BS. Total BS. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Absolutely not. I do not buy it. Then they go talk about no, Carlos King actually said that him and a lot of the viewers were rooting for Glenn and Letitia. I don't really read the stuff. I mean, I don't go looking for information on these people when I'm watching the show, because I want everything to be fresh for me when I watch the show. I don't want to be, tainted by Twitter or Instagram or whatever. I want to have like an unbiased mind when I'm watching the show. So I don't know if the people out there were rooting for Letitia and Glenn. I know I was not rooting for Letitia and Glenn, because I think Letitia deserves somebody better than Glenn. He cheated on her. He embarrassed her. He made her look like a damn fool out there in the public. I don't want Letitia to stay with Glenn. I don't think it's good for her. I think that she could do better than Glenn. I think she could do better by her damn self. I think Glenn just brings her down. She's a very ambitious woman who wants to accomplish a lot of things. And I think Glenn wants a housewife. They talk about the communication with these other women, because Carlos King said we were rooting for y'all until it came out that you were still communicating with with a whole bunch of random women on social media. They talk about the DMs that these men get. It's really hectic out there. The women are just like a plethora of them are just flooding their DMs, whatever. I don't think that Glenn's issue are the women that are DMing him on social media. I think Glenn's issue are the women right there in Jackson, the locals. I think that's the problem, because the women who are DMing him are probably all over the world. I don't see Glenn hopping on planes, taking flights, going here, and there to see these women that are DMing him. I think the issue with Glenn is the chick that he sees at the corner store, the chick that he sees at the gas station, the chicks that he sees when he goes out with his homeboys. I think the problem with Glenn are the women right there in Jackson. If the results are positive, Glenn says that he will step up and take care of his child. He has no problem doing that. Carlos King says, if the results are positive, will you get a divorce? Letitia said that her wanting a divorce from Glenn has nothing to do with the affair or with the baby. She says, she supports Glenn taking care of his child if it's his child. She says that's got nothing to do with the divorce. She says that the divorce talk came from with the stuff that Glenn was doing after the affair, or after the news of this possible baby came out, was how he acted afterwards. Okay, Letitia, I mean, I'm not in your mind. I guess, fine, whatever. I would think that you would have an issue with how he treated you and how he acted before and up to the affair, but you said that your issues were the things that he did after the affair. Like, you could forgive him. She says, I can forgive him for the affair. I can forgive him for the child. It's just the way he acted afterwards. Better woman than me. So now we're waiting to see what the hell the results are, if they're going to be positive or negative. I have no idea. I don't even want to guess on that, because I don't know at all. But I still see Glenn. I see him the same way. I believe that Glenn does love Letitia deeply. I think he loves her very deeply. I think he does want Letitia to be his wife. He does not want a divorce from Letitia. But I don't think Glenn has the strength to resist temptation. And him communicating on social media, it's wrong. He shouldn't be doing that. But I think that he's doing more than communicating with the women right there in Jackson. I think that because of him being on the show, I think the locals are probably coming after him really, really strong. And I think he has a hard time resisting that. Letitia acted like she had a problem when some woman sent him a picture of her, overly voluptuous breasts, because he responded, I guess, to the woman. He responded to her picture. He was like, damn, because, they were very big. And Letitia acted like that was a problem. To me, that was not even an issue. That's not even a problem. The problem are the locals. The ones that he can, meet at a motel. The ones that can hop in his car. The ones that he can go see at their apartment. That's the problem. So, anyways, like I said, I don't think that they should be together. I think Letitia could do so much better. I feel bad for Letitia because she's moving on. She's moving forward. Things are happening for her. And this man's just going to hold her back. He's just going to hold her back. And I promise you, if this woman stays with this man, if she stays with Glenn and she continues to be on this show, I guarantee there's going to be another cheating scandal. Because if I ain't learned nothing at all, I learned that once a cheater, most likely always a cheater. He is going to do it again to her. And if she stays on this show, he's going to embarrass her again on a public forum. And there might be yet another DNA test to be done at another damn reunion. That is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. And if you like this content, please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.